Hi everyone, welcome to Team Dinner, the sometimes food, sometimes sports, always Boston show. My name is Jack Maloney, and my guest today is Dave Littlefield, also known as the Sausage Guy. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate
Glad to be here.
And today we are eating food from the neighborhood restaurant in Somerville, Union Square. So that's
Little breakfast.
that's right. And so Dave, again, thank you for coming here.
Glad we got here.
Want to start, I think, all the way at the beginning with you. So 1992, is that right? First year.
Yes, that's right.
First
That's
year in the business. You know, can you give us your backstory? You know, a brief kind of where you grew up and kind of how you got through your high school, college, and then kind of what initially led you to, setting up that sausage cart and giving it a try.
Sure. I grew up in Foxborough. I'm the oldest of four. We live on the other side of this town from the stadium, and my dad worked at the stadium.
Oh, cool.
And I worked with him since I was like 10. He had 4 jobs, and I'd go out and hang out with him. And
Yeah, what were the jobs at the stadium?
well, he was parking cars, and I was just hanging around. And he ended up parking in the bus lot. And again, on Sundays when they were playing, it was a great time to spend with my dad. I went there 7 a.m, and I got to meet all these characters that worked there and were there for years. It was a really cool experience. And my favorite story of that time frame was my dad won. It was a Monday Night Football. It was actually the Monday night that they outlawed Monday Night Football at Gillette. It was a crazy night. It was pretty wild. And my dad passed me off to the state policeman friend. He goes, "Hey, go with my buddy here." And I'm like, "He's going to take you up the press box." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm just hanging around, having fun. I go up to the press box, and we go up to the top, which was not very big because, again, it was Schaefer Stadium at the time. You know what they call it, the barnyard of football fields, which it was. And we come off the elevator, and Howard Cosell standing right there because it was Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to actually shake his hand
Cool.
when I was 12 years old,
Yeah.
thanks to my dad and people that he knew.
Yeah.
And that was a very cool experience. And being around that atmosphere and that ballpark, stadium atmosphere, ballpark. It's funny how fast forward to Fenway and stuff, how I'm enamored with the ebb and flow of stadiums to this day. You know, you have this quiet time in the morning before the crowd comes in, and you have the chaos, and then the crowd filters out. It's been a very, I don't want to say cathartic, but a cool experience in my entire life, actually. It's pretty neat. So
That is a good. So you basically, this is like in your DNA, right? This is this kind of atmosphere, this culture, this like these kind of big moments of sport. It's just it's kind of been there since the beginning.
Yeah. It's really cool. And like whenever we do a lot of stadiums now throughout New England, UConn football, UConn basketball, and we run pretty big operations at both places. And I love being in the stadium before everybody gets there. I sometimes I sit down in the stands that are empty and just like, this is pretty cool, you know. So that's pretty neat. So I went to Curry College, played football there, and when I got out, I just was grinding and working for myself. I was painting houses. I was doing all kinds of stuff. I was always working for myself. I painted through college, and I realized I worked almost too hard to work for people in general because I'm always with the boss grinding, which I love to work, and I love making my best out of anything I can do, you know. But I had an idea to do buffalo wings out of a cart at that Schaefer Stadium, now Gillette. And everybody was like, "That's crazy." And I'm like, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So we put together money the best I could, friends and family, and we built this piece of equipment that was very expensive. Again, we didn't grow up with a lot of money, and it was a big investment. So we go to the first game of the year, and we're in the parking lot behind Sunnyside Liquors on Route 1. I have a kinship with the fire hydrant there. I set up right next to the fire hydrant, and we set up. People all day went by, boneless buffalo wings? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're like, you have a sausage? How about a hot dog? And I'm getting razzed by the fans. They're just pissed that there isn't a sausage there. It was like unbelievable. And I had this whole investment in. I'm there with my buddy. He's like, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like, "I'm going to sell hot dogs next week, man."
Yeah.
Forget about this.
That was it. It was that quick.
One day deal. And you know, at that time at the stadium, the patrons weren't good.
They were bad. They were very bad.
And so you had new people every week
Yeah.
And you had your diehards,
Yeah.
you know, who you saw every week, but you also had an influx of different people every week as well, just filling the seats. So the very next week, you know, I turned the fryolator into a steamer. We put water into the fryolator and steamed hot dogs, and we did hot dogs, and right away it was a success. You know, I went from like $10 in sales to $350 in sales.
Yeah.
They were home for 2 or 3 days and 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I knew in that interval, people were like, "Where are the sausages? Where are the sausages?" And I'm like, God damn, I can't teach these old dogs new tricks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it came down to.
Yeah.
They wanted what they wanted. So I went to the manufacturer who did my equipment. I said, "Look, I need a grill on this thing, like ASAP, Rocky. Like, just put it on there. I don't care what it looks like." And I laugh at it at this day now because it literally cooks 15 sausages at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, a 5-pound box, 15 sausages, that's all it could fit, you know. And sort of that was the impetus. That was like the rest is history. I started doing sausages. It became more and more lucrative.
Yeah.
You know, to a point. You got a cap.
Yeah.
You know, but people were, "Hey, sausage guy, what's up?" And I was just being me and, you know, just doing my thing. You know, and mind you, I was sort of fresh right out of college too. So I was still hanging out with my buddies on the weekend. This and that.
Yeah.
One story I'll share with you that's a little embarrassing.
Give it to me.
I went out there one morning on a Sunday, little hungover, right? And I was doing like chips for 50 cents or a buck, all mixed numbers. And this older woman came by and she got like 6 hot dogs, 2 bags of chips, 5 drinks. And I'm like, you might as well just have shot me. I was just like, oh my God, just take the food. And she walked away snickering. I'm just like, I just got totally taken by like somebody's grandmother. I'm like, I can't come out here like this anymore, man. So that was a turning point of like how I operated that from that point on, you know. But it was pretty cool, and to put things in perspective regarding the grill size and stuff like that. I mean, we just recently, you know, we got 15 pieces of equipment now. Like one of the carts I have now cooks 200 sausages at a time, you know.
Right.
And so it's sort of funny to say that because it's like a funny thing.
Right. Yeah. So you have 15 machines that cook 10 times. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great origin story.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So then it's 19, you know, early 90s, we're outside a liquor store at Schaefer Stadium.
Yep.
Where, you know, how long did you stay there? Where did the growth come? Where did you, you know, how, if you can put yourself back in that, where were you kind of charting your course at that point?
Well, we stayed there a long time,
Yeah.
and we were working at Gillette, and then I pivoted. I was doing a nightclub off season through the whole year at playoffs in Weymouth. Very famous South Shore nightclub that was wild at the time, and it was a good time. So that was a nightclub thing I was doing. And then I took on a location downtown Crossing for a couple of years, and then we built into another nightclub in New Hampshire. So we had a lot going on. In the meantime, we opened a pizza shop in South Boston because we were looking for a base of operation for the sausage guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm handicapping this in like 5-8 years coming together, you know. And concurrently at the same time, I was working to procure our now infamous, famous location at Fenway Park. What people don't know is that shop out there that I became part of was a closed shop. You couldn't get in it. It took me 3 years to make an arrangement with a property owner that abutted the street, abutted Fenway Park. And it took me like literally 3 years to find him, a year to show them what I wanted to do, and they were supportive, and that's how the little cart that could appeared at Fenway Park. When we first got there, I have the headline on my business card, showed up at Fenway in '92 as the most hated rookie. Because the institution there did not like to see a fresh face on the street. I'll tell you that much.
Is there a lot of like politics amongst the vendors there? Is that? I mean, I would imagine there is, but
I mean, I could feel it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't part of it.
Right.
I was the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And it was. I just had to put my head down, keep my business to myself, and keep to myself, and just try to do the right thing all the time, and do everything I can do to be the best. And it's been a theology that has served me very, very well over the years. I just take care of myself, and I don't worry about anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's been wild.
Yeah. I guess if you think back to those early days at, let's say, Fenway, right? Like, how has the fan changed? I imagine the fan was a little bit maybe rougher around the edges back then. as as the sport has evolved, as the team has gotten better, as the tickets have gotten more expensive.
Yeah, I would say that's a valid statement for sure. You know, it's amazing how different it is, but how much the same it is.
Okay.
And I think that's what's intrinsically important about who we are as baseball fans in Fenway Park. We just grow and morph, but we're always still that same fan, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
But it was rough around the edges, shall we say? And there was just amazing times. I mean, I was there. We started doing the nightclubs on Lansdowne Street, and that was my catalyst to be part of Lansdowne Street, because I knew I was competing with 25 other sausage guys, and I knew that was going to be a heavy task. And finally, we started doing the games. We didn't do them right away because I was like, how am I going to get a piece of the action with these guys?
Yeah.
So finally, I went after it, and I heard there were, calls being called to the city, the cops.
Yeah.
We made USA Today one day. Somebody's yelling at, no, not yelling at me, but they were raising hell that I was there, and it was pretty daunting. But at the same time, it was, it didn't take me a long time for me to recognize the importance and how great, it is to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm still there.
Yeah.
To this day when I'm there, it never gets old being part of that fabric there. Yeah. And it's hard to say. I spent so much time there. It's just unbelievable. You just couldn't even fathom. I mean, I go out there Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, for example. I do the nightclubs after the game. So I get at Fenway Park 12:30, 1 in the afternoon, and I leave there 3 in the morning. And I was really by myself at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, but it was something,
Yeah.
But once I started doing the ball games in earnest, I carved out my place on the street, just through grinding, and I couldn't run out of anything.
Yeah.
I ran out of anything. I'd ask a guy. They say no. Can I grab some extra mustard? No. I can't tell you how many times these guys have said no to me in a tight spot.
Yeah.
So just things that you run into, things that you need. But through that early experience too, I was really compelled to find a way to share the experience of being at Fenway.
Yeah.
With more people that can't get there. Or don't have the privilege of getting there all the time. And I had that idea to just do that with the sausage guy sausages, and I had that idea 25 years ago, and it's taken me a hell of a long time, but it's been incredible.
Yeah.
So we finally got there about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And be able to share it through the steal a line from famous Jasper White, who just passed, God bless him. Food is love.
Yeah.
And share the love.
Yeah.
And it's and that's what we've gotten to this point now.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about kind of I think that entrepreneurial piece in you, right, just keeps calling. So sort of about developing that line of sausages and kind of what that process was like, and just kind of how you arrived at the offering you have, and what that was about. Yeah,
there was a lot of steps in between there, because one of the things I started doing as an offshoot, we had a family reunion years ago, and I was a young guy. I was only like 22, 23, something like that. But we probably had 70 people at our house, and I was on the grill all day and didn't talk to anybody. I go, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And some cousins I would have liked to have seen, but it was all good. But it was that drove me to offer what we do at Fenway at home. If you're having a party, barbecue, we'll come do it for you, and you can enjoy your party. So that was a whole nother aspect of the business that took off before we got to the retail shelves.
Yeah.
And then, 10 years fast forward, all the guys that were pissed at me are now picking up people that are calling the wrong guy.
Yeah.
It started a whole cottage business where some of these guys is always like, oh, he's at this place right now. I'm like, that's my client. I know it's my client, but what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so in between there, I always tell the story about Stop and Shop and how the actual product got to the shelf, it was pretty interesting. We developed a product years previous to getting to Stop and Shop, and we were selling it at a couple small little grocery stores, and we had a co-packer out of Connecticut. And it was going along okay, but I was really trying to make it bigger and better, obviously, and to share it more. You know, that's been the passion and the dream of it to start with. So we get a random call from Stop and Shop and an email saying that they're going to do these in-store, ready-to-eat food type of things. Do you want to be part of the model, part of the pilot program? And I'm like, well, is there a path to the shelf? And they're like, yeah, there'll be a path. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Let's go. Now, as a business person, I'm thinking like, I don't know who's going to grab a sidewalk ride. Like, I couldn't calculate it.
Yeah.
But I was still willing to take the shot with them. And it turned out we'd started working with just an amazing team. I got into a space that I've never been in before. You know, conference calls with 15 people, like all kinds of stuff like that. That was just out of my wheelhouse at the time. But exciting nonetheless, you know, and it was just really cool. And the people over the time, I think we did 3 stores. They were putting a significant amount of investment, like, you know, probably a couple $1 million into the facilities in total. And we got operational. Like, it was really a hard time. It was like December when people don't have money to begin with, and you know, that was a rough time. But it was 6-8 weeks. We got a few locations going, and it was like terrifying. Yeah. Everybody in the team, we all looked at each other like, "Are we in trouble here? What's going on?"
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It wasn't feeling good for anybody, I'd say. And so I started looking for the exits, as the whole team was too, I think. And they were great, fantastic people. I still talk to them today, a few of them. But to back up, so before that happened, though, I said, "So what's the path to shelf?" Oh, like, "Oh no, you can't. We're not going to have that for you." It was like the second day we went full operation. I'm like, "Oh, that's great. You can sell them here, but you're not going to get to the shelf." Like that door, it was open for like a minute, and then they slammed it in front of me. I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute! Now I'm on this Titanic, and I can't even get off." And unfortunately, that's sort of how the whole pilot was going. So everybody, the whole effort was slowing down. I get a call from one of the lead developers. He says, "Look, I got a team coming in from the Netherlands. All the executives, can you just be at your location, set location this afternoon, and just do a tasting and just be present if you can?" I'm like, 100%. Anything you guys need me to do. I mean, it was a great experience because everybody was so transparent, supportive of each other, and it was a great effort. You know, so I would do anything for them. So I go there, we do the whole thing, and this whole team, and it was all good. And they were loving the sausage. It was really cool. Oh, that's great. And they're all walking away. I'll never forget it. They were just all walking away. And then the vice president stops and turns around and goes, "Hey, Dave, you know, I'm thinking, would you do this like an In-N-Out product for like, you know, April through Labor Day maybe?" He's like, "It's a really good sausage." And he's like, "You know, we do the Cal Ripken burger," he says to me, in Chicago. He goes, "And sausages are indigenous to the region." He's like, "Would you take a meeting with me?" And I'm like, hell yeah. Now, his back was to me. Like, he was 10 steps away from me. It was, I was just an afterthought, right? And it was amazing. So 2 days later, I'm on a conference call with him and his team, which, again, it's like, you're almost sweating on the call because it's such an opportunity, and it's out of your wheelhouse, right? Out of your space. So we get through the call, and then I get a follow-up email with one of the vice presidents, and he goes, who told you to do this? I'm like, "Mr. McGowan." He's like, "Okay." He goes, "I've been told to green light this and get it done as fast as possible." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "I've never seen this before, but I've been told to do it." And so that was that was cool. And sure enough, we did everything we could do to get what they needed. The meantime, my co-packer I wasn't happy with the presentation of it, and we had to massage it a little bit. And I had a friend of mine who brought me to another co-packer here in Massachusetts. And we were driving, it was the year of the blizzards, 2013. We were driving through blizzards every 3 days. It was only people on the street going to the goal. It was wild. And we got a great product together. And it's been just phenomenal since then. It's been 8 years now.
That's great.
They were going to keep us in for half the year that year. And in 3 months, we were out selling everything on the shelves, and they kept us. They were only going to give us a summer trial, and we've been on the shelves since then. It's been pretty wild. I can only equate it to like like a musician back in the day.
Right.
You go into Strawberries and you see your product, your
right.
album on the shelf or Tower Records, you know.
Yeah.
And so when I walk into a store, still, it's like
Still.
I can't believe the damn thing's there. You know.
That's amazing.
It's cool. It's cool.
So what, if you had to give advice on that experience, that kind of, that will to get that done, if you had to give one piece of advice, what would it be? What was kind of the takeaway from that full experience?
It's sort of like everything I've done.
Yeah.
Like you just keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that, you know. I say to my kids, I say to my workers, I say to anybody in my hospice, success, 90% of it is being in the room.
Yeah.
Is showing up for it. Just being there. I mean, I worked on Lansdowne Street some nights, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm out there. My sister come by one night.
Yeah.
It was a Friday night. It was raining like hell. The weatherman said light showers. It was like a monsoon. I'm in the pouring rain. It's 11. She's pleading with me to go home. Like, I'm not going home. I'm already wet. I'm staying here. She's like, David, just go home. Like, I'm not going home. Sure enough, she drove away. It stopped raining at 12:15. I sold every damn thing I had.
Yeah.
You know, that's sort of a thing that I think either you can get it done or you can't. You know, I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah.
Like Lansdowne Street it was a different animal back in the day. I mean, I used to park right in front of my location.
Yeah.
Another story. I mean, just had so many stories. But these guys are walking up the street, a group of 10 of them. Clearly, you know, drinking and not, you know, feeling pretty good. Guy punches my window out right in front of me.
He doesn't know it's yours.
No, just smashes it. I'm like, dude, that's my truck. Like, what are you doing, man? It's raining out, right?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, what are you going to do about it? There's 10 of them. I'm like, nothing, I guess. Yeah. Have a good night. See you later, right? I'm driving home that night. I mean, you can't make this up. I'm driving home that night. It's 3 a.m. after service. I'm like driving home to South Boston, and I'm at a street light, and a car goes by, hits a puddle. It splashes me right in the face. I'm like, is somebody filming this? Like, this is crazy. My life is crazy.
Yeah, jeez. I can, well, so, yeah, so let's go to that kind of Lansdowne experience. So you're there for years, you know, is there something kind of even more taxing about a Red Sox game, like a Saturday afternoon Red Sox game into a nightclub night? Like, is that kind of like the marathon of the day, right? You're there from what, in morning till
right, yeah, till 1 till 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah, it's a marathon. The games are long when you're standing there because there's nobody on that street during the game. You know? They're long. This is true. I've only gotten one home run ball in 30 plus years.
You must have seen a lot of bouncing though, right?
I almost got killed by 100 batting practice balls.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah.
I used to sit at my fire pit in the backyard with my wife, and I'd be like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm dodging bird shadows.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how much time I spent out there.
Yeah.
It was really a bad thing to realize that I was doing that.
Yeah.
So,
it's a bit of PTSD, right?
Yeah. So many near misses I've had with batting practice balls. It's just crazy. The cart's been hit, broke the cart, had a radio behind me, smashed the radio, and broke the cart. Literally, it's an electric grill I have out there, and it broke the knobs off of it. It's been one thing after another, you know. But the clubs and the people themselves coming out, you know, win or lose, they eat almost the same.
Right.
And then that interval between, like on a Saturday, a 1 o'clock game, you're done at Red Sox about 6-ish, and then you grind until like the nightclub's till 1 in the morning again. So it's a long, long night. But it's almost the same but similar experiences, you know, but different experiences. You know, the nightclub people a little more wild, you know, and seeing some stuff. But it's pretty wild. I got an interesting story with Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
So the Yankees all used to work out at Gold's Gym to my right, and we had an arrangement with them to use the bathroom and stuff like that. And it was like early April. It was like the 4th game of the year. Yeah. I don't know what. And they're lined up down the block for the game. You know? And so some of the players are coming out, and they're all yelling, "Yankees suck!" They're chanting. It's bananas. Yeah. It's like bananas. It was like the 3rd game of the year, and it was like a Tuesday. I'm like, this is crazy out here today, you know. And you see it, right? Yeah. So I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm running down the steps, and I literally almost headbutt Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
And we're face to face. Like it was so. I'm like, oh. And he looks at me. It was so awesome. He looks at me and goes, "Dude, don't they know it's only April, man? It was such a real moment. I was thinking the same thing, bro. I'm like, good luck out there. And we passed each other, and that was So those are the great things that make the days go by, and you have great memories of them all. My son recently just got the first home run ball this year. At the car, and again, it's really hard. On opening day, he got the first home run ball.
Are there less home run balls? I imagine after they built the seats up there, there had to be way more back.
No.
Same amount.
It's a good question, and the reality is that the trajectory of the seats that they built on the Green Monster are the same trajectory as the nets almost, give or take 3 to 5 feet.
Yeah.
But they're almost the same damn thing, and they still come out. They still all come out. There used to be a guy that walked through the netting before the game.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was so important to get him out before the game, but he was up there every day. He used to have an old newspaper bag.
Yeah.
And he would collect the balls.
You could see him from the back, right?
Correct.
I remember that from when I was a kid.
Yeah, once in a while he'd throw one over to me. It was cool to see that.
Yeah.
It was always a neat nuance of the park that I always enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean it's like a TV show. It's a cast of characters, right?
Yes.
You're a character, and there's however many other characters who show up every day, right? There's there's the athletes who get 99% of the attention, right? But then there's everyone else who comes there, and it's a job, right? It's a piece of them, the piece of their life.
100%. And I think Fenway, I'm sure a lot of ballparks have the same thing. But you're right, it is a cast of characters, and every facet of the stadium has a cast of characters, right? They have the ushers and the seats and the bartender that everybody goes to. And I mean, it's really cool to get to be part of that.
Yeah,
and there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's a neat thing, and you never take it for granted, But I got when long homestands, man, it gets wild.
Yeah.
In '99 for the All-Star break.
Yep.
That was what people don't know. They had a 10 or 13 day homestand before the All-Star break. So you're already grinding.
Yeah.
And again, I would get out there 1 in the afternoon. I'd get home at midnight, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the All-Star game break was like, I was out there at 6 in the morning till 3 in the morning for 3 days straight. And then they went into a 12-day homestand. So the owners of the Casket Flanger and I were on the sidewalk going, make it stop, make it, it's wild. I mean, it's some of the adventures that we do, and it's like a marathon sometimes.
Yeah. So how many sausages? So you sell hot dogs as well, right? Not
at Fenway.
You do at Fenway, right? Yeah.
Hot dogs. Yeah. Everywhere else we do everything.
Yeah. How many are you coming with every day on a let's say a Saturday?
Well, it changes a lot now, and I really don't get specific on stuff for all kinds of reasons.
Sure.
Because it's not always me out there.
Yeah.
But just for just for stuff like that. But it's not as much as you think.
Yeah.
But over the year between everything we do, I mean, it's hundreds and thousands of pounds. Yeah. Between the charity events, and we're now in 10 entertainment/sporting complexes in New England. So several years ago, our food comes in on pallets. Yeah. And that was it's still to me when I got a pallet jack in my warehouse, I'm like, what is going on? It's very surreal to me still. It's great. I have a great team of people, and we treat each other like family, and we grind and we work, and some of my favorite events are the music festivals. We just did Boston Calling, Levitate, we did Beach Road Weekend on the Vineyard, and just we're blessed to be part of so many spectacular things in Boston here.
Do you still consider Fenway kind of like the centerpiece? Is that
absolutely?
Yeah.
I mean, you're nothing without Fenway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, I mean, it's what better place to be, right? What
It's like everybody knows, it's just a special place, And we just had the Yankees in town this past weekend. It's like people are like, oh, hey, the Yankees. I'm like, I love the Yankees. It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, indicatively, look what they did this weekend.
Yeah.
It's always great competition.
Yep.
It's always a playoff game when you play the Yankees. It's great, and it's great for business, and it's a great rivalry. It's just never gonna die.
Yeah, I agree. It's even when the Sox are underperforming, right? You get up.
Oh yeah.
You get up for the Yankees.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
That's great. So let me ask you this: what, if you look back over the last 30 years, you think you probably couldn't have imagined where it led to you, right? But what are some of the things that have surprised you the most over the last 30 years? What are the things that you are maybe most proud of in a way that you didn't anticipate?
That's a good question. I'd have to say I'm proud of the support I've always gotten from my wife first, my family, and then a lot of people that I could name, but you wouldn't know that have been part of the success. Like when we're doing any event, every day I treat we're like a team. We're like Go Team. We literally do Go Team at the beginning of these events when we do these things. And I have a second family now in Connecticut. I mean, we met this person. We were doing the Yukon basketball games, and we go into a pub behind us. She was a bartender there. Her family owns the businesses. I can't tell you what this woman has meant to us in the last 3 years. She's like a whole another family I don't have, and I want to categorize it as completely surprising, but it's really, really awesome. Yeah. To experience it. I mean, I was just with them this past weekend. Like, the mother works with us. Like, there's like 10 of them that she brings and helps me out, staff, in a remote place, and it's cool. I think that's the most. Again, not surprising, but most exhilarating. Maybe something I'm really happy about and just grateful for.
Yeah. It's funny. It's the people, right? It's the people, right? The product changes, the product evolves. Yeah. The mission is drastically sort of set in a different direction, but like the people are what?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And it's amazing the people that we've had, and also, it's the food is just part of it. You know what I tell people: this is a hard, dirty job. And we get filthy. I tell my staff, don't wear anything you like. You're never gonna wear it again. But we try to have fun, and we try to do it well. I just hired a new guy the other day. I said, look, we have fun. As you saw, he was working with us. I said, we do all that, but we kick ass. We put out a great product, and we're trying to be the best at it, and that's what we do. And, we're a different anomaly that we bring a different enthusiasm to what we do. I think we got the radio going, and we're just having a great time, and we're trying to share all of it. So
I love it. And let me just pull these out real quick to make sure. So these are just kind of we'll just do a couple questions, kind of like a little bit maybe non sequiturs.
Yeah.
So I guess big question is, how does the sausage guy prepare his sausage for himself? Is it sort of classic peppers and onions? Is that it? Or is there anything we don't know that you need to enlighten us on?
What I like to do, and honestly, it's crazy how often I don't eat them.
Yeah. Right. Well,
once in a while, I'll have like my choice right now is the Wicked Hawk that we have. To die for. Yeah. I open face grill it. I cut it lengthwise. I grill it open face, and I like caramelized onions. Like caramelized onions, and that's it. Maybe a little bit of hot sauce, but usually not needed.
That's good. All right, you heard it here. Okay, here's probably this is a question that is popular, I would say, on the internet. Your stance on ketchup on hot dogs and sausages?
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Look, a hot dog, I've been guilty of that.
Yeah.
But a sausage, it's a criminal act.
I agree.
I have tattoos of guys hate sausage. I hate ketchup.
Yeah.
Like this guy at Fenway literally has a tattoo. I have it on my phone. It's nuts. The picture's crazy. I had two uncles. It seemed like uncles because they had these younger kids, and they came to Fenway like 2 or 3 years ago, right? And the kids, they all get sandwiches, and the kids, they start putting ketchup on it. The guys go crazy, like crazy. I had to jump in. I'm like, guys, calm down, man.
A little kid.
Teach them. Do not kill them. And I tell people, we don't, like some events, we don't even bring ketchup.
Yeah.
They're like, where's the ketchup? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You go to Fenway and do that? We're doing you a favor. Don't even think of it.
I feel the same way. I feel ketchup on a hot dog to me is like, it's okay, whatever. I don't feel, but I same thing. So, like ketchup on a sausage to me is it's like it's a bridge too far.
Oh yeah, it destroys the whole intrinsic value of the sausage.
Yeah,
You know?
but mustard is okay.
Mustard's I'm a must, and then the spicy.
Spicy. That's what my next question is. Yellow versus spicy.
Yeah,
Spicy.
Yeah. Spicy's a go-to.
Okay.
Yeah, spicy deli mustard has to go to.
Is there an industry standard on mustard, or is it kind of whatever you?
Well, we have Goldens.
Yeah.
It's interesting enough that segment of the market on the volume that we buy is it's not that easy.
Right.
It's
oh,
really,
yeah.
it's
None
really
of the brands have huge things.
Exactly. Like all the little bottles you see at the grocery store aren't available to what we really need.
Yeah.
So it's usually we source Goldens pretty much online now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny the things that we have to get online that you just want to like mustard, for example, for a certain dispenser. Like we literally can't get anywhere.
Get some boutique, handcrafted mustard, and you're putting like 9 bottles in there.
Right. And it depends where we're going,
Right.
We're going bougie. We bring the bougie,
Right. Yeah, but the gluten-free.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure that's all you've got to incorporate.
We have it all. We do it all.
We are in Massachusetts, right? That is a
Beyond Burgers.
Yep.
I'm at a grocery store looking at. I was talking to the meat manager, one of the places that carry us. I think it's Stop and Shop I was in. And it was funny. I was talking to the meat manager, little shop, and I walk away, and I'm walking over to getting Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
He comes running at me. What are you doing, man? I'm like, my daughter's a vegan, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
your daughter's vegan.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. She loves animals so much that she doesn't eat meat at all.
Oh God bless.
And she's 17 now, and she stopped. She was 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's pretty serious about it, But, pretty cool to see that, though.
Yeah, she's committed. I mean, there is something I think sort of. I don't know. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
That how the kind of the families kind of evolve and the sausage guy.
She was also sure she wanted to help us sometimes because of because of her
beliefs,
devotion, which is cool.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
Good for her. Good for sticking with something. Cool. And then I guess, is there any we're kind of I think nearing the end. I think this has been wonderful. Are there any stories that I maybe haven't led to anything that you think might be worth sharing? Anything fun that comes to mind?
There's just
so many. I know.
I don't even know which way to go here on this.
It's okay.
I know. We've done some barbecues with the Patriots. That was amazing. Like crazy. You know, I have video of them singing "Happy Birthday" to my son because it happened to be his birthday. The Super Bowl champions. You know, my son's like. We would leave and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I can't believe that just happened. He's like, what are you freaking out? I'm like, you just had the Super Bowl champion singing happy birthday? Are you kidding me? Stuff like that. Just amazing experiences that I've been able to share with my family too now.
Yeah.
And, my older son works with me full time. My other son works with me. My whole family works. My wife runs the business end of it now. Probably 15 years too late. Save me from myself.
Yeah, she started 15 years ago. You guys would be, global.
Oh, no, it's been great. I appreciate you having us in here today. And, the bigger and better things,
Dave, thank you so much. Please come back anytime, and we'll look for you in Stop and Shop and hopefully more and more places in the near future.
Please do. Awesome.
Right. Thanks for coming, Dave.
Absolutely.